Hello. You're listening to the Pip'n'Dale podcast. Other podcasts are available, but we'd rather you stuck around. Thank you. Does it just idle itself off?
Maybe. I don't know. Keep an eye on it. I love how we do this. We just drop in. Like, we just drop in during, like, a random conversation. Yeah. It's like an episode of Archer, almost. But much less funny.
Oh, what?
But, like, where it just kind of drops in and out, you know?
Yeah.
But, obviously,
in and out.
without phrasing. All the great characters. And without phrasing, yeah, exactly. Phrasing. Right. So, yeah. Number 7.
Here you are on episode 7.
Or 4 plus 3.
Yes. Also
4 plus 3.
Or
we're talking about superhero movies again.
And a big delay there. We're talking about
what are we talking about? I don't know, something or other. We're talking about superhero movies. Yeah, we're talking about Superman because it's been 6 days I think since Dawn of Justice came out. No, since Dawn of Justice came out. I'm saying so. We're doing a special
last weekend.
Yeah. Was it? Yeah, something like that.
Or midweek, whatever.
So special Superman episode today, where we talk about the aborted Superman Flyby movie. That was going to come out. But first, the olds.
It should be really old by the time this goes out.
Probably, yeah. I mean, we could possibly squeeze another one in before I go on holiday anyway.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I want to squeeze one out.
I reckon I could squeeze out at least another one between now and going away.
When did you go?
20-something.
20-something?
Yeah.
It's the 2nd today.
Yeah, I know.
What do you mean? There's plenty of weeks.
But you fucked up the schedule because you just released it immediately. You
well, I wanted everyone
prematurely ejaculated all over our audience and stuff. But it's fine. Anyway, we could probably fit in another one or two anyway.
Okay.
Between now and then, or one, or whatever, or none. Whatever you feel like.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, olds. Gambit movie has been pushed back to 2016 and
this year's what?
What
do you mean pushed back?
Pushed to late 2016.
Right.
So pushed back in 2016.
Okay.
Which isn't good. Not good news, really. Apparently, they're recasting the entire thing, other than Channing Tatum. So they've kicked everybody out.
What do you mean? If it's supposed to be out this year,
well, late this year. It's gonna be a quick shoot, isn't it? They're gonna do a X-Men First Class with it, I reckon.
Oh.
It might have been pushed back to 2017. I may have written it down wrong and gotten confused with my dates. That could be a possibility. Basically, it's coming out a lot later, and they've kicked out all the cast.
I kind of forgotten about it. If I'm honest. The schedule came out, didn't it? The DC schedule. It was tightly packed.
Yeah. I mean, they're making
Gambit's not DC, but
no, but I mean, the DC schedule's not as tightly packed as Marvel's schedule. So Marvel are like 3 films a year at the moment. It feels like that anyway. But the thing that I think is most concerning for the Gambit movie is it's reported that Channing Tatum's production partner is actually doing rewrites of the script, which scares me a little bit. In that
Channing Tatum's
production partner, yeah. And that worries me slightly because that sounds to me like they're turning it into a Channing Tatum vehicle, rather than a Gambit movie. So, I mean, I guess it depends how enthusiastic this production partner and Channing Tatum are about Gambit as a character, or it could be a good thing or a bad thing. They could have looked at the script and gone, this is a pile of shit and isn't representative of Gambit. Or they could have looked at this and gone, this doesn't have enough Channing in it.
I'm going to go with the latter. I'm going to go with the latter.
That was my kind of vibe as well when I read the article. So it might be that movie turns into a steaming pile of dung, but I won't lose sleep over it, I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like he's going to... it's not for the future of the X-Men. I don't see a big...
No, it's
not like Marvel where you introduce a character and then he's a prominent player, one of the big 5 of the films.
I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with X-Men after Apocalypse anyway.
Do you reckon anyone major's going to die in Apocalypse?
It wouldn't surprise me at all if they...
I mean, we're only just really introducing the characters.
I know. Well, yeah, I mean, it'd be their third movie, won't it? The First Class cast.
First Class.
I think this is supposed to wrap up the First Class trilogy, as they call it.
Right.
So I reckon they might go back and... might go back and reboot after Apocalypse.
Again?
It wouldn't surprise me if they do a proper reboot. Like, because obviously...
it was a
First Class kind of was a sort of reboot in a way, and then Days of Future Past was a hasty retcon. I don't know if the plan was always to bring the old cast in with the new cast for Days of Future Past. I don't think that they knew what they were doing when they made First Class. I think they were just like, shit, just put another one out so that we keep the rights. But there's been talks about deals with Marvel.
They've done a bloody good job of it there.
Yeah.
Maybe they need that pressure.
They need the pressure, yeah. I mean, that film was shot in like an insane amount of time. I think it was like 45 days or like 60 days.
Really?
First Class, yeah. It was literally like a rushed out the door job. Yeah, like literally get it shot.
And it's amazing.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
So
it shows you what a little pressure can do. I know. I personally work much better.
You work better under pressure. Yeah.
At least that's what I tell myself 5 minutes before a deadline. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know how. I think I work best when I'm not working. What? I don't know even how that makes sense. But
kind of you're taking notes while doing other stuff?
Yeah, not too because I mean
fleeting thoughts about the work.
Yeah. Okay. I don't like the constant pressure atmosphere, but unfortunately, life is pressure. Yeah. Fucking deal with it. Don't like the heat.
You haven't dealt with it by now.
Can't stand the heat. Get out the kitchen. Yeah. Is what someone said once.
We're not condoning suicide on the Pip'n'Dale show.
No, that's leave your job. If your job's stressful,
don't take that analogy way too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kitchen is not a metaphor for life. But again, job may be your job or your stressful school life. Again, not saying you should quit school if you're at school.
Well, if you do need counselling, we're
here for you.
We can put your number in the
just send us an email to pndpodcast@gmail.com and we'll send you a hearty reply.
We'll work on it. James Wan, who is a man who directs films. He did Fast and Furious, one of the many, maybe multiple of the many Fast and Furious films which I've lost track of. Who's obviously doing Aquaman for DC and Warner. Has very quickly distanced himself from Batman vs Superman. He's kind of gone, no, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun film, don't worry.
It's not going to be that.
So he's very quickly kind of not shunned the dour tone of Batman v Superman, but kind of gone, this is going to be
before we obviously go into this stuff of business, that I haven't seen Batman v Superman
but
you have. I'm going to see it tomorrow. Hopefully.
Everyone dies! Bruce Wayne dies!
Bruce Wayne dies.
Wonder Woman dies! No, I won't ruin it.
Batman survives. What?
Bruce Wayne dies, Batman survives, yeah. I thought that was kind of funny. He's saying he's taking a more fun approach to Aquaman, which is fine,
Yeah, but isn't the problem with Aquaman that everyone thinks he's a joke?
Maybe it's going to riff on that, though. Maybe it's going to be a little kind of
hearty, kind of Thor-esque.
Yeah,
type.
That's what I'm hoping for. But I think DC and Warner need to have a bit more courage and not worry about what Marvel fanboys think. It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Thing is, those Marvel fanboys still go to see the movies and pay the $1. So at the end of the day, who really gives a shit?
Yeah.
With Batman v Superman, the audience has spoken. They're seeing a lot of repeat business. Mm-hmm. The film is divisive. Like, there's elements of it that I loved. There's elements of it that I thought, whoa, not cool, man. Yeah, I think Zack Snyder has a very face value understanding of like what makes Superman and Batman who they are. I think the problem is he read The Dark Knight Returns and went, I want to do that. But the problem with The Dark Knight Returns is that they've got fucking 30 to 40 years of friendship behind them at that point.
Yeah,
you can't.
So he hasn't read enough of the comics yet.
No, I think that's
a major plot flaw with the majority of directors who do comic book films is that they probably don't research enough. I mean, I'm not saying all of them. I don't want to get any angry letters from.
I think as long as you get the essence of them right, and I think the thing for Marvel is that they've been working with like their kind of B team heroes for like the last however many years.
Yeah.
Like when Iron Man came out, nobody cared about the essence of Iron Man and what the essence of Iron Man is, because Iron Man in comics is completely different to Iron Man in film. So it's not that a different
interpretation brand new,
it's not that a different interpretation doesn't work. It's the fact that Batman and Superman are so iconic that people get really angry when they're not
viewed as they should
viewed exactly as they should be. Nobody wants a grouchy Superman, and nobody likes a Batman who stabs people. So
what?
Not really.
Right.
I'm just going to throw in loads.
Shanking.
There's going to be
shanking.
Just, I want to stab Superman. I want to stab him. I want to stab him. No, I'm going to throw in loads of false spoilers for Batman v Superman 3. Right, so you go into this movie an emotional wreck. I'm done. We're not talking about that movie anymore. Right. Something I read the other day that really made me chuckle is a 16-year-old hacker has snuck a watch paint dry game past the Valve approval board onto Steam, and it is brilliant. It is the funniest thing. Game. I've just watched kind of some footage of it. I didn't download it or play it, right. But fair play to that kid, I guess.
Yeah,
for being
doing it.
I mean that's like that's conviction,
even though it come out as a big news story, I bet people were buying it.
Yeah, I bet loads of people buy it. The Steam community is exactly the kind of community that will lap that shit up. Yeah. They love it. They'll buy it just to leave the review, won't they?
Yeah.
Like, it's that,
some of the Steam reviews make me laugh.
They're so funny.
Yeah,
they're so good. But yeah, that made me laugh. And Final Fantasy 15 September 30th release date. That was leaked. It was a leak.
Right.
And then 2 days later,
coming.
Square Enix was like, we're releasing it on the 30th of September, yay! And everyone was like, we know.
No, the internet told us.
I don't think Square Enix realised it leaked. I think they just kind of went on. Just carry on.
Just went to their
one guy in the office found out and just went, I'm not telling anyone. I'm just going to keep this on the down low.
That's because he was the one who leaked it.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. As I mentioned to you earlier, played the demo. Good. Really enjoyed it. For a demo. Yeah. It's totally not going to be. I guess it'll be on PS4
as well.
20-30
gig or something. It's stupid to get.
Well, the demo.
Yeah.
No, it's only about 5 gig.
Okay, that's alright.
Maybe that's why the graphics on it were pretty ropey, was they scaled it down for a demo. I don't know, because that was one thing I did find about it, was it looked a bit ropey, which is the first time I've ever said that about. Like, they've generally been like cutting edge each release, haven't they? Yeah. Like, I remember seeing 9 on PS1 and thinking, this is the most they're going to get out of this hardware, and the same, as they went through on.
And then they released Final Fantasy X and shit all over that.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I mean, that still is a great looking game. There are some games like that.
Yeah, Final Fantasy X still looks amazing.
Metal Gear Solid 2 as well.
That was the first game I ever had on PS2.
What, 10? Final Fantasy 10? No, Metal Gear Solid 2. It still looks incredible. Like, if you go back and play, I had the HD collection not so long ago. It looks better than Snake Eater. Just work that out.
More budget.
Yeah.
Of that, PS2 is officially done now.
Last servers for Final Fantasy have been shut down, haven't they?
So yeah, officially.
Is it 12?
Officially dead.
Is it 11?
Yeah, no, 12.
Yeah, 12 was single player, wasn't it? Yeah.
They didn't release 14 on PS2, so it must be 11. Yeah.
Sad day.
Good night, sweet prince. It was an iconic machine.
It was. It's isn't it? Still the biggest selling video game console of all time, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty sure.
It pasted the fucking Xbox, like the first Xbox.
Like everyone had a PS2.
Yeah.
You probably still do have a PS2.
Somewhere.
I mean, everyone.
Everyone else.
Royal you.
The Royal you, okay.
Yeah, not just you specifically.
just me.
I have, but the last time... Well, even before, I dropped it in loads of snow, and I've never turned it on to check if it was working. So
you just living in denial.
That was like 6 years ago, so
I'm sure it's fine.
I'm sure it's fine.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's bound to be dry by now.
Well, yeah, probably. My brother washed his iPod Nano, one of the like really like not really early ones, but one of the like middle ones, the little short iPod Nano. It was quite wide, quite thin,
right?
And that went through the washing machine, and just over the years, it just recovered. It was like watching like a war hero like relearn how to walk. You know, it was a beautiful
Scramble
thing.
up.
Just climbing back up out of
did he just leave it to the side and occasionally test it?
He used it full on. He put it in the airing cupboard for 12 hours and then got it out and it worked, but the screen was like completely fucked.
Yeah.
So he couldn't see what music he was selecting, so he basically just...
So then it became an iPod Shuffle.
He basically became an iPod Shuffle. Yeah. And then, just gradually over time, it started like kind of getting a little bit better where it like got a bit faint and you could kind of like hold it at a certain angle and you'd be able to see it. And then one morning you just woke up and it was just working fine again.
Awesome.
So, technology.
Yeah.
So don't take that as a thing that you can just wash your iPhone. Don't wash your iPhone.
I remember, was it a few years ago when there was that like someone had mocked up, photoshopped the legitimate Apple notice about microwaving your iPhone with the latest update. Oh my god, the people done it.
There's so many people.
So many people.
I don't understand how people fall for that sort of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, you see some of the posts people put on Facebook, and you don't understand how people can be so fucking stupid.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, the oldest.
I actually said it to Sophie. This was before we were proper dating as well. And she was like, I think she just looked at me and was like, "Do you take me for a fucking idiot?"
Shut the fuck up. Yeah.
I'm not going to put my phone in the microwave. Well, worth a shot, wasn't it? Worth a shot.
Yeah, you can't blame a guy for trying. You're going to love this. Dunkhouse. An update for Rocket League, this kind of spiritual successor to Rocket League's being released as an add-on, and it's more of that, but basketball.
What? It's not.
It's going to be an update to the game, apparently.
Yeah. No, sorry, I thought you meant like a separate game.
No, it's an add-on, but it's kind of the spiritual successor, isn't it? Almost.
Yeah,
they could have, if they wanted to, released it as a new game. So I kind of.
Well, they got the hockey because they did during the winter. They basically changed.
Oh, they did a Winter Olympics kind of thing, didn't they? That's cool.
And then it was so popular, they've kept it in the game now.
Oh, awesome!
And they've also got like a Rocket labs where they test out stuff. But yeah, I prefer playing the hockey one more than the actual game. Yeah, I love it. I've been playing it the past few days of the game from work just before I go to bed.
We've always said this, and it's just one you can pick up and play for 10 minutes.
And the hockey's a lot of fun because the puck's just it's not as flying all over the place. There's a lot of battling for the puck.
Yeah, I guess because it's a flat thing. It doesn't bounce, I guess, in the same way as a football.
And there's a lot of.
I don't know how the fuck basketball is going to be really hard.
Well, I thought because. I don't think it is. I thought it was going to be really easy.
Yeah.
Because the net. Have you seen a picture?
Yeah.
The net's fucking massive.
Oh, is it massive?
And all you have to do is hit it in the air, and then it's hard enough trying to control yourself in the air to defend. So I just think it's going to seem easy, but only time will tell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming
soon,
month,
like imminently. It's this month. Yeah.
Right.
So that'll be fun. You'll have to let me know how that is.
Yeah, I will do.
So let's wrap that up onto the aborted script then for Superman Flyby.
Actually,
this is totally.
I've got a surprise.
You've got.
Let me just whip out my jeans. So I got a nice surprise for you.
Oh, it's so big.
It's not this wallet, but that's also kind of cool.
That is also
like Batman versus
We've got
Superman.
Batman v Superman wallet. You're already. Oh, Dale.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. He's got business cards
I've made business cards for the
nice
Pip'n'Dale show.
Awesome. Are you going to be like handing these out like one of those annoying people in town that gives you stuff and people go, that's a pretty cool way to market it. I mean,
because people chuck away flyers.
Yeah.
Like if you give someone a flyer,
it's offensive to throw away a business card.
Yeah.
Fuck anyone who throws a business card.
Most people
will go in their jeans or in their wallet,
and then they'll just forget about it.
Literally, when people give me a flyer, it goes in the next available.
Yeah, exactly.
So literally, it doesn't even leave.
Print out flyers because that's
a great idea, man. Yeah.
I printed out these cool little business cards, and next
Sunday, I will be attending Optimus Con.
Ah, nice.
So I'll probably be giving them out there. So you may be listening from this business card.
Yeah.
Look how glossy it is. Touch it.
It is glossy. I want to have a sort of an American Psycho moment over it.
So there you go. You can have some of these.
Yeah, I'll hand some of them out. So this, this episode's a bit of an experiment in a way. We don't know if this is going to work or not yet. I think it's going to work because the principal thing behind it is Dale reacts to something he didn't know about before.
A bedtime story.
Basically, but the funny thing is that you don't react, so it's going to be kind of interesting what you make of this. I think the end game is to tell you something about a movie script that's so bad it makes you angry.
Right.
This isn't going to be the one to do it. But I've got some in the running, man.
Yeah, it's not going to be very good if you just ring it and I just nod.
And you're like, yeah,
nodding.
I'm on board. Yeah. So this is Superman Flyby, which for those of you that don't know, which could probably be a lot of you, is the aborted Superman movie written by our Lord and Saviour J.J. Abrams back in 2003. So this is old, man. This is like
old.
This was
13 years ago.
This was the Superman reboot before Bryan Singer's Superman Returns was commissioned.
Yeah.
in the script, and that was written for that. So Bryan Singer's Superman Returns was kind of like a sequel come homage to the Richard Donner era of Superman movies, and obviously failed quite miserably. In fact, I don't think it did bad business, and it wasn't awfully reviewed, but it just wasn't the Superman movie that a modern audience needed.
I think the most thing I remember about that film is him shouting in the woman's, or was it the kid's face?
Oh yeah,
she says, "It'll stop you."
That's Lex shouting at Lois
What's
Lane.
his name? He plays Lex.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Great choice for Lex Luthor. Great choice for Lex.
Maybe the film just didn't do him justice, but I thought he was alright. He was alright.
I think the problem is that the plot was beat for beat the same as the original Superman movie. Like even down to like time tags. Not going into that in too much detail because it'll take fucking forever. The pacing and plot of the film is the same. Lex's motive is the same. He wants to create real estate. In Superman the movie, he was going to blow off half the side of America to create beachfront property. He basically bought some not so expensive land and went, if I just blow out the current beachfront property, my property will become the beachfront property. And in this one, he wanted to create an island. So it's he's obsessed with land.
He loves land.
He does love his land, doesn't he?
Well, land is
it's fine.
Very lucrative.
It is a lucrative enterprise, but it can be a lucrative enterprise if you don't blow the side of a mountain off or whatever, or create a rock island in the middle of the ocean. What I never got about that film was why didn't he just say to Superman, "I'm going to create a rock island in the middle of the ocean"? Because I don't think Superman would have had a problem with it. I think he'd have gone,
what?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
then.
why?
It was gonna because of where he was gonna put it. It was gonna flood the entire western seaboard, wasn't it?
Right.
That's what. There we go. That's why.
Because it is just like a floating island, isn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Just Superman.
Just made of Kryptonian crystals. And laced with kryptonite. It seems like because it was only a tiny little bit that you needed to create a massive piece of land, wasn't it?
Right.
Like a tiny shard, and then he laced it with kryptonite, and Superman lifted it up, again making the whole kryptonite thing bizarrely confusing.
Because at that point he's been stabbed with kryptonite as well.
He's got it in his body.
Boulder of kryptonite. I can see where they were going, trying to show that he's overcoming his greatest weakness. But
But then what's his weakness for the next film?
Then? Yeah.
That's the problem.
Being exposed with kryptonite.
This is the problem with kryptonite. Yeah. So can't use it.
Can't win.
It's broken. It's a broken narrative device. You can't use it effectively. So anyway, Superman Flyby would be directed by Brett Ratner, who left the project later on over casting difficulties, and would then obviously go over to Fox to do X-Men: The Last Stand the same year.
We've discussed how great that film is.
Yeah, he was replaced by McG, who did Terminator Salvation. Yeah, I don't know.
Are you abbreviating?
Well, no, that's his director name. It's directed by McG. MCG with a little C. Who did Terminator Salvation, and he did Charlie's Angels, the ones with Cameron Diaz, the recent ones. The script actually...
You say recent?
Recent being not the 60s one.
Oh, right.
Being it came out during my lifetime. The script for this...
They were like mid-2000s, wasn't it?
I think they may have even been earlier than that, yeah. The script for this film actually made some interesting changes and some outright bizarre changes to Superman canon. Especially like when it comes to the origin story. It's a massive departure in the origin story, and the script titled just called Superman. You can find it online. So if you want to read it at any point, I've done a summary. I've read the entire thing in an afternoon and did a summary of it, and yeah, so it's bizarre.
So you're going to read me extracts?
I'm basically not extracts. I've basically summarised the story in bite-sized format. So we'll see if this...
I was hoping some witty dialogue.
There may be some dialogue. There's definitely dialogue for the next one, but I won't spoil it for the listeners or for you what the next one is.
Okay.
So first thing to note, Krypton still exists.
Okay. So
the script has a lot of parallels actually with the Zack Snyder film in the vision of Krypton as well, like the way it's described. It's a technologically driven society with quite unique wildlife, weird elephant lizards and flying dragonfly lizards and all kinds of shit. But
baby lizards.
It's just lizardy. But it's far less mechanical looking. It's described as having, you know, rolling fields and flowers, but unusual flowers. And the movie opens on Krypton. Jor-El is king of Krypton, as opposed to Krypton's foremost scientist, and the script opens with a battle that kind of mimics General Zod's coup in Man of Steel, except that this is a siege of the royal capital of Krypton, Kandor, by Kata-Zor, who is Jor-El's brother, so Superman's uncle. The war is one of religious ideologies, with Jor-El representing the old and traditional, and Kata-Zor representing some kind of undefined opposition. He's clearly set up as the antagonist. So during this siege, Jor-El and Lara jettison the baby prince, Kal-El, into space to save his life. And then during the battle, a bomb is detonated and a large chunk of the planet is blown off. So just
not blown up.
Just removed completely, so the planet survives. Kata-Zor's fleet immediately sets out looking for Kal-El, not knowing to which planet Jor-El has sent him. What do you make of that as an opening gambit?
Sounds a lot like Freezer versus Bardock.
It certainly does, doesn't it? Doesn't it ever? I don't know if he's... I mean, there's a lot of parallels, I think, between Superman and Goku in Dragon Ball Z anyway, obviously.
Yeah.
The aside from, you know...
The obvious alien from
alien
space,
baby sent to planet Earth.
Destroyed world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, there's not so many Kryptonians in Superman. Maybe
No,
an occasional one.
Well, the only real one that survives is Zod and his lackeys and also Supergirl.
Yeah,
who was launched before.
I don't really know any of Superman's stories.
The origin differs. I mean, the kind of definitive and current.
She's supposed to be younger.
She's younger, but she's been. The idea is she was jettisoned just before Clark, or Kal-El, but she got stuck in Jupiter's orbit.
Right. So
it wasn't until an asteroid hit and flung her out of the orbit that she made it to Earth, which is why she ends up being, 16, 17, while Superman's 30, because she basically spent 15 years in space, in stasis, floating around.
So she didn't age.
Floating around Jupiter, yeah. So
okay,
that's the current kind of
story,
Supergirl interpretation. That's a good comic. You should read that. The Batman Beast, the Batman, Superman and Batman. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's a good book. Batman finds Supergirl, which is an awesome idea, rather than Clark finding it. And Batman's just like, what are you?
Try and
she crashes in Gotham.
Right.
So he's like immediately on the scene, and she's naked and beating guys up who are all like pervy because
she's naked.
Yeah,
and it's Gotham.
And Batman's like, "What are you doing?" Stop setting fire to stuff.
Come back to my mansion.
Come back to my cave. But he's like completely like, I don't trust her. And Superman's like, you gotta trust her. Batman's like, no.
No, yeah.
But he eventually learns to trust her. Anyway, next big thing. Lex Luthor is a Kryptonian sleeper agent who gets fired from his job as a school teacher. No, wait.
What?
Yeah, I'll go explain.
Well, I'm supposed to be reacting, and that's why I mean...
Wait, what? He's fired. You first meet him. He's fired from his job as a school teacher in his first scene of the movie for floating his wild scientific and political ideas. After losing his job, Luthor stumbles across a Kryptonian stasis pod that's landed on Earth, one of the ones presumably sent out as part of the search party for Kal-El. The Kryptonian pilot's dying, and in his last moment, he transfers his knowledge into Luthor, and it is at this point that Luthor loses his hair. So the stress of the mind meld, whatever it is, causes his hair loss.
That would have been a weird scene to watch.
Wouldn't it ever? But he doesn't notice the hair loss. The script's very careful to highlight that. He's like getting all of this crypto, because he's not just getting knowledge about Kal-El being an alien, he's getting all of the Krypton's knowledge and scientific knowledge at once, which I think is kind of a cool idea, because it gives credence to his intelligence and then his ability to become, President Lex and all of that stuff later on.
Yeah,
it's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, the antagonist that he needs to be.
Yeah,
like,
it's a nice narrative
gives him
reason.
the background knowledge so he doesn't seem to know
basically does a Green Lantern in a way.
Yeah,
because that's kind of
but
what
on the bad guy.
Yeah,
because it does, like in a lot of Superman stuff, it does seem like Lex just has so much in-depth knowledge about Kryptonia. No, that's
Kryptonian,
Krypton, yeah, in general. When the planet was fucking blown up when Superman was a baby, but he just seems to know everything.
Well,
about
I mean, he gets into the Fortress of Solitude, doesn't he? At one
gets
point,
some information based on
that's
that.
that's how he learns. I mean, certainly
it seems like he's normally got more knowledge than he should.
In every
film.
Totally.
Let's go back. Kryptonian sleeper agent.
Yeah. So basically, once he's got the knowledge, he is then a Kryptonian. He's basically
okay. All right, that's what you're saying.
Yeah. He's now preparing for Superman to reveal himself, because that's what all the sleeper agents are there for. They're just there to blend in on Earth and wait on potentially thousands of planets. Wait for
him to show us.
Which is that's a lot of effort they've gone into.
Finding one bit.
Well, it's the prince, isn't it? It's Jor-El's heir, so it's an important baby. So again, it's justified. Young Clark wears lead-lined glasses as he can't control his X-ray vision. That's just a little tidbit for you there.
Cyclops
again, and what it demonstrates is J.J. Abrams' absolute commitment to overstuffing the script with narrative. Like he's literally, you read the script, it's really hard to read because he's describing everything in such loving detail. Like you can tell he was totally invested in this when he was writing it. It's a passion project for sure. Young Clark beats up Martha and Jonathan Kent's landlord after the landlord pays Martha a visit to pick up the rent while Jonathan is out of town. The landlord tries to rape Martha, and Clark picks him up and throws him 20 yards across the property.
Red flags are going up.
Yeah.
Red flags are started that he might not be just a regular old boy when he throws someone across a room.
Across the yard, man.
Yeah.
He throws him across the yard. It's at this point that Clark obviously as well realises that he's different and petitions Martha and Jonathan for some information, and he then
wait, is this?
Well, his powers are kind of.
He can't control his X-ray vision, but
it's kind of like his powers kind of come in drips and drabs very slowly, and then he throws a guy, and then it's.
He just thought
that's a massive thing, isn't it? Like the super strength. The super strength would be the first point where you'd be like, Jesus Christ, I'm really fucking different. Like X-ray vision would be weird. I mean, they've never really addressed it. They've never really addressed his powers. Oh yeah, you're just different. Just go to school. Shut up. Eat your dinner. Clean your room. Anyway, I mean, at this point he finds the stasis pod he was sent to Earth in at age 12, so he's kind of heading towards young adulthood now, or adolescence. The Superman suit is inside, and it's too big for him, and he trips on the cape and falls on his ass playing hero in it. At this point in the script, Clark learns that he can fly, destroying Jonathan Kent's tractor in the process.
How does he manage that?
He flies up, crashes through trees, and blows it up, basically. And Jonathan Kent is not very impressed with it. He's it's an expensive tractor. At this point,
wait a minute. So you said they lived in a flat because they were going to get kicked out of the flat.
No, I didn't say a flat. I said the landlord pays to collect his rent. But
Just thinking they seem to own. If they own the tractor, they own a lot of land.
Yeah, well, they're farmers, aren't they? They're farming. Yeah, I mean, a lot of farmers rent their land.
I suppose so. I don't know why I'm fighting
from wealthy land.
I don't know why I'm fighting gripes with that.
It's fine.
It's good to have land.
It's good.
It's good to have.
At this point, we snap back to Krypton and we meet Katazor's son, Tyzor. The names are just going to get really fucking confusing.
With a giant hole in it.
With a fucking big hole in it, yeah basically. We meet Tyzor, who is 21 years old-ish. He's in his early 20s. He's a Kryptonian warrior, and the script basically telegraphs immediately that he and Superman are going to have a beef later on. He captures Lara, who has been in hiding ever since the siege.
Is that Superman's mum?
Yeah. And we then learn within the same kind of set of scenes that Jor-El has been imprisoned by his brother, who is now Krypton's reigning monarch. Katazor brings in the captured Lara as an interrogation tool to get Jor-El to confess to his son's location, and in a moment of blind anger, Tyzor decapitates Lara with a sword.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought this film was looking a bit dark with the raping
scene, and yeah.
But now there's a beheading. So
there's a beheading.
Oh Jesus!
I mean, he's framed as clearly the psycho character in it as well.
Yeah. Although I like how, obviously saying in a moment of anger he mistakenly beheads her, so he's going to be like, whoops.
No, he didn't mistakenly.
Oh right.
No, he literally takes his dad's sword, chops her head off in front of Jor-El, sheaths his dad's sword, and leaves.
Right.
Like, it's literally described like that. It's I think it's meant to be quite an intense
it's not like
moment.
He's even
it would have been
for information. He's kind of more making a point.
Yeah. I mean,
he's not going to give up his son anymore, is he?
Oh no. Fuck no.
You use your bargaining chip and cut her fucking head off.
Yeah. He's a maverick. He's a rogue. He's a lunatic. and Katazor is not happy with him for taking this line.
You're grounded.
Yeah.
What did I tell you about beheading civilians? Prisoners.
Snap back to Earth, and Clark is now a senior in college. Lois Lane is an incoming freshman. And they meet.
He's going to be incoming in her later on in the film.
They meet at a party, at like a frat party, in which Lois beats a guy to a pulp who tries to drag her off to another party. So Clark leaves college, takes a job at the Daily Planet just because Lois works there, which is a bit creepy.
One scene?
It's just a little kind of snippet. There's a lot of jumping around. There's a lot of time jumps and a lot of jumps back and forth. And there were significant,
you like kind of like what Man still did, but quicker.
But yeah, and I mean there was quite a lot of dialogue that I just skimmed over. I read it, but just thought, and this doesn't add anything to the plot, and the passage of time generally is not worth talking about. So Lois, he takes a job at the Daily Planet just because Lois works there, which is creepy. Lex is now a fully fledged businessman starting his run for presidency, and Lois is investigating him on a gut feeling that he's a bad egg. Luthor is onto her, so he orders a hit on her. Yeah, like literally that Luthor's just like, someone kill her. So
those pesky reporters snooping around.
So she's on Air Force One at this point.
So is it given any Sorry,
doing
what?
A story. She gets onto Air Force One to do a story, and he has.
Does it highlight any of Luthor's current criminal activities prior to that?
I don't think he is a criminal at this point. I think he's gone from he's got Kryptonian knowledge, and he's become a very successful businessman, and now he's starting his run for presidency. He's a bad human being inside, but I don't think he hasn't outwardly done anything illegal yet, to our knowledge. Why did he order it on her for? Well, because she doesn't want her snooping around,
right,
you know.
Right. Because
he's planning to do bad things,
right?
You see.
So why? How's she on Air Force One again? She's doing a story. On him.
No, because he's running for president, so
right.
You don't get to fly Air Force One until you are president. So he thinks.
How the fuck did she get on the Air Force One then?
To interview the president? I don't know. It's not clear. The current president, yeah. So he's like, 2 birds with 1 stone. I can kill the current president. I can kill Lois Lane by sabotaging Air Force One.
Right.
Therefore, the president's out, and I don't know what happens in American politics, but I think in American movie politics it would be
let's vote a new president.
Let's vote a new president the vice president takes over. Yeah, but anyway, until the next election, I don't fucking know.
What if they're both
his motives are not clear.
I think it goes to like the next in line. Is it chief of security? Maybe
it wouldn't be chief of security; it'd be chief of staff, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So this is interesting because this is the first time we see Superman in costume, and he gently brings the nose-diving plane to rest in a baseball field, just like in Superman Returns. But instead of
Air Force what actually happened to the plane then?
He sabotaged it. So something blew up. A
bit blew up.
Insert set piece here. Something explodes or stops working.
People start screaming.
Yeah, the plane nosedives. But we're losing altitude. But they kept that. They kept that for Superman Returns, and that was probably the best bit in the movie, like the saving the plane. That was awesome. That was a really, really good set piece.
Yeah.
When he brings that plane down to land, it was really like, yeah.
Hooray. So that
Superman's
probably
back.
Just pinched.
There's loads of stuff. There's loads of stuff Man of Steel's pinched from this. There's loads of stuff that, and this is what I've been finding reading these movie scripts, these cancelled comic book movies, is that stuff lives on. Yeah. You know. So this scene stayed more or less untouched and featured in Superman Returns. As Luthor watches the event on television, the Kryptonian sleeper now realises that he's found Kal-El.
Cool.
So
does he have like a mental?
It doesn't describe him as having one.
Hands opening up.
But obviously he sends a beacon. He sends a message back to Krypton.
Right. Okay.
To tell the rest of them that Kal-El's here. Lois comes up with the name Superman after he rescues her from the plane. So much like she does in Man of Steel after he's taken into custody by the National Guard.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had that really awkward. On my world, it's the symbol for hope. Nah, I think we'll just call you Superman.
Thanks for that play. That was super of you.
Man.
Oh, wait. You're a man. Let's call you Superman.
You're a man and you do super things.
Yeah.
At this point, Jonathan Kent dies of a heart attack upon learning that Clark is Superman.
What? That's fucking brutal, actually.
Yeah, it's quite brutal, isn't it? I mean, he dies of a heart attack in Superman the movie, the original.
But, you know, that's the kind of thing about them. The two were supposed to be kind of supportive of him no matter what. It's weird that he would die, because obviously
I completely agree with you.
Surely he must have known
should be beaming with
they
pride.
know his powers.
They know his powers. They know that he should go on to do great things.
They bought him those lead glasses.
Yeah. they gave him the costume out of the stasis pod and said, you're gonna, it's a bit weird.
Why is he just suddenly over here and die?
I mean, again, the lesson that he learns in this script is the same lesson he learns in Superman. You can't save everyone. But the idea that he would have a heart attack on learning that his son is Superman is far-fetched and a little odd. But then again, is it as odd as Jonathan Kent dying in a hurricane, having told his son not to save his life?
Sure.
I loved the way that the original Superman movie did it, because everything was going fine. They were having a nice farm, and then he's dead. And that's life, though, isn't it? That's life. Sometimes you just die unexpectedly from some kind of disease, And that's a good lesson for young Superman to learn, is don't take it hard on yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Humans are fragile creatures.
Exactly that. So the tail end of the second act then features several globe-trotting rescues and daring do by Superman.
Is this like a montage of rescues?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It gives the movie a much more universal appeal as we see Superman foil a jewellery store heist in London. I'd love to see Superman in London, just with loads of like, fucking hell, look at this twat. Look at this twat, boys. Hey, nice pyjamas, dickhead. Did your mum make them for you? It would be so funny, but I'm sure that's...
Is that what... If Superman was walking around, is that, you think, the general consensus?
What, in London? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure London would ridicule...
dickhead!
Yeah, dickhead! Fucking dickhead! It wouldn't matter how many good things he did, Superman would be ridiculed. He's definitely not made for England, or for... What would have been funnier is if he'd done like a daring rescue in like Halifax in like Yorkshire, or like, just somewhere that's just not like London. Like in American scripts, it's always in London. Whatever everything that happens in the UK happens in London, doesn't it? Like according to Hollywood,
just like one.
If it doesn't happen in
one
London,
old lady being
London is like
robbed by a man with a knife. We don't have guns here.
Nope, we don't. We don't. He also saves coal miners in Austria by burrowing through the earth, which sounds like it might have been a cool scene. And then there's passing mentions, by which I mean newscasts, of his actions in Egypt, France, Hong Kong, and Honduras. Just to throw one in there.
So it's just kind of overviewing he's being the world's saviour rather than just America's
saviour. Yeah. At this point, Luthor feels things are sliding and needs to do something about it. Right. So he publicly addresses Superman on national television, urging him to come forward as he has information for him. When they first meet, Lex confides that he is also kind of Kryptonian.
Is that the exact words he uses?
Not really. No, there's a lot of words. He explains to him. He confides that he's a super agent, and that together they can be the architects who rebuild the Earth, similar to Zod's proposition in Man of Steel. Luthor's plan includes the destruction of entire countries to bring order to the world.
Which Superman isn't very happy.
He's not
on board.
Yeah, he's not down. Meanwhile, back on Krypton, rather, the planet is in danger of falling out of orbit, presumably as a result of all this damage caused to it many years ago. Luthor, in his role as sleeper agent, has notified Katazor of Kal-El's presence on Earth, and Katazor sends his son to kill him, as he fears that if the people find out, they will believe that some kind of previously undisclosed prophecy is being fulfilled, which centres around Kal being of royal blood and linked to Jor-El's previous kind of religious-based reign. Well,
it's an uprising, isn't it?
Yeah.
The prince is alive. Like the Lion King.
Yeah, it's basically the Lion King.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, because like Krypton's always meant to be like science and of rational mind. Whereas this Krypton is kind of science. Like they've advanced past a point, well, up to the siege, past that utopian society with no war and no famine, but they're all
zealots.
They're all deeply religious.
Yeah.
The plan is that if they send Tyzor to kill Kal-El, Tyzor's return will instead fulfill the prophecy, and then they will gain the favour of the Kryptonian people, the unwashed masses who still believe in Jesus.
Kryptonian Jesus,
who is Clark. I mean, there's a lot of like religious, like.
Does it mention the prophecy then? Is the prophecy
only at this point? It just like really thick and fast. Just kind of goes, oh yeah, there's a prophecy
happening.
Lois's article on Air Force One rescue catches Superman's attention because it compares flying to sex. She hasn't flown with Superman at this point, and that's no frame of reference. But Superman decides to take her flying. Odd. Yeah, and there's just loads of really odd sexual tension between them as well. And it's not like awkward Superman sexual tension. He's like, fucking straddle me, bitch.
Jesus!
It's not that extreme. I'm paraphrasing it.
It's not like that. Which other Superman movie is that? The really sexual one without that sexual
Oh, in Superman 2, when they go on that, Niagara Falls retreat, you mean? Oh, no, you mean the interview in Superman the movie.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I like your pink panties.
She's like in lingerie.
Yeah. And he flies down.
Interview.
Because she's like, what colour are my pants? And he's like, instant X-ray vision pink. I like pink, Lois.
But that's not how X-ray works. He just sees
presumably he can dull he's got a range on it.
I'm not looking at your panties.
So after some odd sexual flying, Lois and Jimmy find Luther up to no good. After discovering a lead that draws her to the Kelvin Observatory just outside of Metropolis, Lex is drawing power from the observatory in preparation for Tyzor's arrival. For no reason, but just because we need power.
Power from the observatory?
From the observatory, yeah.
I'm pretty sure telescopes don't generate power, last time I checked.
Fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson over here.
Yeah,
Science man. But yeah, I agree, it's stupid.
Why not just make it a power plant?
Yeah, well, why not just...
Is there any observatory-based...
Him being an observatory makes sense, because he could be keeping an eye out, couldn't he? Waiting. Yeah. Oh, there he is, he's going in his pod. But yeah, the drawing power thing could have just been left out. Maybe there's something in the script. I don't want to badmouth J.J. Abrams, because he's a good dude.
He might have gone over it, yeah.
He might have gone over it, and I might have missed it. Jimmy escapes. They're discovered. Jimmy escapes, but Lois is taken hostage. Tyzor arrives on Earth, and Jimmy informs Clark about what's transpired. Superman arrives and confronts Luther and Tyzor. Tyzor reveals that he killed Lara, and the two battle. At this point, and this is fucking ridiculous, we discover kryptonite, which happens to be stored at the observatory and becomes exposed during the battle.
Oh no! Well, just like in a cupboard somewhere.
Yeah, the janitor found it.
Giant club of.
I think. I don't know. I mean, it's an observatory. I suppose it's a space rock. Maybe they got some there. But yeah, and the two are weakened by it. Lex immediately makes the connection. It's a weird effect it has on them. It makes them all blistery and bubbly, and starts literally fucking melts them.
What? Because so it's not they come in contact with it, or just because it's nearby?
Just because it's nearby, and the closer you get, the worse the effect is. Tyzor manages to blow the kryptonite to a safe distance. I mean, literally blow it with his super breath, and then starts to wail on Superman hard. He wins. Superman is unconscious, and Tyzor hauls his limp body through the streets of Metropolis as a trophy.
Jesus. So he flies to Metropolis with his unconscious body, and then...
It's only just outside. So
yeah.
I think it's literally outside the countryside up a hill. You can see Metropolis from the observatory. That was kind of how I interpreted it. Back at the observatory, Lex throws Lois into a metal water tank, because you have those in observatories.
Yep. Just hanging about for all that space looking. Need those giant tanks of water.
Metal tanks of water, obviously throws her to her demise. Superman regains consciousness and escapes from Tyzor, heads back to the observatory to save Lois, because she's doing her Superman help, and he's with the hearing.
Right.
Luther's planned for his reappearance and has kryptonite to hand. The effects of kryptonite are cumulative in this, so prolonged exposure eventually kills him rather than just weakening him.
Right.
And like I say, it's burning, bubbly, blistery skin. It sounds really awful. So yeah, Superman's dead at this point. Luther flat out kills him. On Krypton, Jor-El awakens in his...
So what does he do? Stab him, or
no? I think he just
tries to save Lois and gets too close
and dies. Yeah. On Krypton, Jor-El awakens in his prison cell, sensing that Kal is dead. They've got some kind of telepathic bond, I guess. Tyzor boards his craft, lands it in Metropolis, and blasts a hole into the Earth, vowing to destroy the planet as punishment for sheltering Kal. So this Tyzor guy is fucking serious.
Yeah.
It's not like he's even got General Zod's motive of, let's terraform it. Fuck the vermin that live here. Let's terraform it and begin a new Krypton. He's a sympathetic villain, Zod, I think, and he's one of the better things about Man of Steel is Zod, you're like, oh Jesus, that part of me's really on his side, and
really?
I think so. It's that moment when
I guess he's trying to make the planet.
He's doing right by his people.
Yeah,
and it's that moment when
I suppose it's the same thing as Khan, isn't it?
Yeah,
Where,
exactly the same. Yeah, it's doing right by
He's trying to repopulate his
for you and yours, and
species, essentially.
you know, it's that moment where in Man of Steel where the dust has settled and Zod is alone, and he's like, I have no people, and then gets fucking angry, and then they have that big giant chicken fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, at this point, Superman is having a death vision.
But yeah, well, like you say, this guy's just
destroying the world.
He's just like, fuck this. I'm gonna blow up your planet for. Well, it's not like they were harboring him intentionally, were they? It's just like
no,
from Earth.
He's literally
just
just
like
psychotic. That's it. He's just a threat.
Right. So this moved on quite quickly from they're having a battle to Superman's dead and he's blowing a chunk of the Earth.
Well,
up.
I think the battle between Superman and he was intended to last quite long.
I assume he doesn't blow up Metropolis. He blows up the other side of the Earth instead, where Metropolis is.
No, he's in Metropolis. He's blowing a hole into the middle of Metropolis. So kind of like how the World Engine in Man of Steel is blowing.
Oh, sorry,
a
I
hole
thought you meant he just blows up half the planet. Like
No. It's if this thing goes on for too long, the planet's going to be destroyed.
Okay.
He's, I don't know, maybe heating up the Earth's core or something like that.
They love doing that.
They do love doing that, don't they? So at this point, Superman is having his death vision where he finally meets Jor-El. Jor-El reveals the prophecy that must be fulfilled, a Krypton ravaged by war between two families, two cousins who battle to the death, and the winner returning home the true prince of Krypton. He reveals that he selected the Kents to raise Kal as they were virtuous and that they would keep the key safe. He then reveals that the key is his chess symbol, called the Symbols of Mena. 5 individual pieces that comprise the Superman S, which represents faith, wisdom, courage, love, and sacrifice. He then instructs Kal to visit a priest on Krypton, who will help guide him and give him the knowledge he needs to lead his people.
He's dead. But he's dead, isn't he?
Jor-El. They're both dead. They're meeting in a death vision. They're having a.
How's he going to meet a priest if he's dead? Wait, you didn't say Jor-El was dead, did you? You said he woke up. You said he was in prison.
All right. Let me finish. All right, we're getting ahead.
Let's finish.
Okay, finish. He then instructs Kal to visit a priest on Krypton who will help guide him and give him the knowledge he needs to lead. They share some kind of weird suicide hug where Jor-El resurrects Kal but at the cost of his own life. Which is another thing Kryptonians could do. They got a really fucking weird, undefined set of powers in this movie.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams seems to be doing a lot of just chucking...
This is what I want.
Yeah.
This is what I want
but
Superman
he's
to be.
raising plot points as they're needed.
Yeah.
Rather than foreshadowing
it's
previously.
Yeah, it's like, totally a script of, like, convenience.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of it is.
We need this now. Here it is.
Here it is, yeah. Katazor finds Jor-El dead in his cell and realises what has transpired, presumably because he's like, I know that weird suicide hug thing. I've seen that before.
Why didn't he use it when Low... What was it?
Well, he's in prison, doesn't he? He's in chains. He can't do anything. Jor-El?
Yeah. Why didn't he use it when Lowe's head was cut off?
Well, because he's in chains. He's Jor-El's prisoner.
Well, he's in chains, but he managed to resurrect Clark, who's on a different fucking planet.
Well, yeah, true. All right. But maybe, you know, obviously you can only use it once.
Your wife has,
and
your wife has died.
I know, but you're looking at the bigger picture here. It's more important. What would have happened? He'd resurrected Lara, and then Superman would have just died, and then, you know.
Or is it like... Because obviously Clark's body is intact. Would she just come along like a chicken with his head cut off, and her body would just wander around for a bit, splurring out of the hole?
Regenerate her head,
and then she'd die again, and it would have been pointless. If you explain that in that way, it seems perfectly logical.
None of this is logical. So, yeah, realising what he's done, Katazor contacts Tyzor and tells him not to leave Earth and that Kal is still alive. Kal arrives in Metropolis and fights Tyzor. It's Superman versus a spaceship at this point. Or it's you know, some kind of craft. It's not very well defined. Superman cripples it and then flies around the Earth to gain momentum before smashing into the craft, destroying it completely. Cal and Ty enter into an airborne martial arts battle, presumably because The Matrix Revolutions had just come out and we were a big fan of those airborne martial arts battles at that point. They do some weird Kryptonian martial art. I imagine it kind of like the combat in Dragon Ball Z, the flying combat in Dragon Ball Z,
Just
where it's so fast you can't see anything happening. And then once he has Ty on the rope, Superman realizes that a bomb has been set that will destroy the Earth. So he races to stop it, pulls it out of the ground, then the fight continues, they throw cars at each other. Ty is neutralized again, and Superman grabs the bomb and flies into the sky above Metropolis with it. Ty grabs there's a long coil coming out of the bomb, like a thousands of feet long, presumably going back to the observatory. Fuck knows. At this point, as it whips, out of the ground and follows Superman up into the sky. They play tug of war for a little while with the bomb until Superman manages to tug it off him to a safe distance above the city. It explodes.
He tugs him off and it
explodes. Yeah.
Right, brilliant. Yeah,
it's all right. They're cousins. It's legal.
In Alabama, maybe.
It explodes. Tyzor is flung towards the ground. Superman catches him. At this point, he grants mercy. Tyzor agrees to go back to Krypton with Superman, but betrays him with a hidden blade.
Color me surprised.
As he lunges, Superman throws him through a skylight and into a large kryptonite stalagmite. Camera pans out to reveal that this is the Metropolis Museum in some effort to excuse this crime of circumstance.
Right.
Tyzor dies, and the script is actually very careful to ensure that the viewer is aware that this was Superman's choice. Effectively, Superman has killed him. It is not framed as an accident.
Wait, but how does he know there's a giant stalagmite?
X-ray vision? Mate, at this point, is that the most unrealistic thing that's happened?
I didn't even know about kryptonite until 5 minutes ago.
But yeah, exactly. It's stacking those plot points up.
Yeah.
As he dies, he enacts a transference into Luthor, who is now in the museum. Because
reasons.
Time. Presumably, I mean, it's not clear, and the script does not say a thing about this, but presumably he's giving Luthor his powers, setting up a sequel.
Yeah.
What else is left to transfer? Another brain transfer. Yeah. What's left to transfer? Just power.
Consciousness? No.
Possibly consciousness. But with consciousness must come power, and you're also killing Lex Luthor as a villain, aren't you? Which you wouldn't do.
No, yeah. Maybe giving him some power.
No, but Luthor's weakened, so he's not a threat at this point. He scurries off into the shadows. Yeah. Superman then has his moment with Lois, tells her that his people need him. The two embrace. And then back at the Kemp farm, Martha reveals that they have a Kryptonian spacecraft that they've been hiding for him for many years. He boards it and leaves the planet to go back to Krypton.
Why would he want to go back to Martha? I thought she told him she didn't want to see him.
No, she hadn't told him that. She didn't tell him that. I didn't say that. No, she was just like, "Sorry, your dad's dead."
I thought you
bad
were like,
times.
Your dad's dead. I don't want anything.
No.
Which is why at the time that's a weird way to do it, because obviously
that didn't happen.
Said there they loved him and all that.
Yeah. So he boards this spacecraft and goes back to Krypton. The end. Just ends like that, like straight away.
No prophecy fulfilling.
Well, presumably
setting up a sequel.
Set up the sequel. So under Ratner's direction, the budget was set to exceed $200 million, with Josh Hartnett being offered a $100 million 3-picture deal to play Superman. Jude Law was also considered for Superman. Jude Law. Weird.
Yeah.
But they both turned down the role due to the contractual obligations to appear in sequels. Something Ratner was passionate about, citing his desire to tell one story over 3 movies, with Ratner in the director's chair for both sequels. This was going to be a 10-year commitment for whatever actor signed the contract. So
he basically was like, I want to do 3 movies. I want 3 movies worth of money. Please.
Well, yeah, and I mean it's going to be hard at that point to find an actor who wants to sign a deal for 10 years of their life. There's typecasting to worry about. Christopher Walken was in negotiations for the role of Perry White.
Oh.
Which would have been interesting.
Who the fuck's Perry White?
The editor of the Daily Planet.
Right. So I'm not very good with... I didn't read Superman. I've never been a great super fan. Sorry.
While Ratner expressed interest in casting Anthony Hopkins as Jor-El and Ralph Fiennes as Lex Luthor. Christopher Reeve was drafted in as a project consultant and was very vocal of his desire to cast Smallville star Tom Welling in the role of Superman. Seeing him as an ideal candidate for a young Superman, despite also going on record to say that the character is more important than the actor that plays him, because it is an enduring mythology. It should definitely be an unknown.
Right.
In addition,
It's
Paul...
an interesting choice as well.
Yeah. Make it a continuation of Smallville, almost. In addition, Paul Walker was offered the role, while Ashton Kutcher screen tested. Brendan Fraser and Matthew Bomer were both auditioned. Kutcher didn't take...
Who was set to play the bad antagonist guy?
I think I write that down. I think I've got that somewhere.
Right.
I'm getting to it. Kutcher didn't take the role as he was worried about clashes with filming on that 70s show, but was also worried about typecasting and the Superman curse.
I can't imagine Ashton Kutcher being...
No.
That would have gelled.
Or Paul Walker, or Brendan Fraser for that matter.
Yeah.
A lot of weird casting decisions. David Boreanaz auditioned but dropped out due to scheduling conflicts with Angel.
Oh, what? I would have loved to see David Boreanaz as Superman.
Joel Edgerton auditioned for Tyzor before Ratner dropped out of the project in 2003 due to casting difficulties, and you're gonna love this, disagreements with producer John Peters. That's that fucking guy again.
John Peters
again. He wanted his mechanical spider. Brett Ratner was like, no, John Peters. Yeah. McGee was brought into the project as director, and Brendan Fraser expressed continued interest. Selma Blair was in talks to play Lois Lane, so she was in Hellboy. She was the... Do you know who Selma Blair is? The chick in Hellboy. The super chick, the fire chick. I can't remember her name, which is really bad.
It's a long time since I watched Hellboy.
Anyway, she was going to be Lois Lane. Good choice for Lois Lane, I think.
Yeah, she looks Lois.
McGee had
I'm trying to think what else she's been in, because
quite a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, she plays like a villainous character as well, doesn't she? Things. I think maybe.
McGee even went as far as having a prototype suit designed and screen tested a variety of young actors, including Henry Cavill. He shared the desire to cast an unknown in the role of Superman. He approached, this is great, Shia LaBeouf for Jimmy Olsen.
Right.
Because at the time he was your stuttering teenager. And also expressed interest in Scarlett Johansson as Lois Lane and Johnny Depp for Lex Luthor. So he really shook up the casting palette.
To be fair, Johnny Depp can do anything, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, pretty much. Even bad films, he's always generally pretty reliable. Yeah, he's great. He's never the problem with his movies.
No, it's like was it Pirates 4?
Yeah,
he's
the saving grace of the movie.
Generally, the movie's bad except any scene that he's in.
Yeah,
is all right.
Is all right. Yeah. Josh Schwartz was commissioned to rewrite J.J. Abrams' script, but McGee dropped out over concerns.
I can't believe that's this guy's name.
McGee dropped out over concerns on shooting locations. McGee wanted to shoot the movie in New York City in Canada, while Warner Brothers wanted to shoot the movie in Sydney. While he later admitted that it was his fear of flying that made him drop out of the film, he was quoted at the time as feeling that it was inappropriate to try and capture the heart of America on another continent. The movie fell apart. Warner Brothers hired...
why did they want to do it in Sydney?
Cheaper, maybe? I don't know. Easier. There's a lot. You got to do a lot of shit to shoot a movie in a city. I don't know. Maybe it was just like too much red tape. I don't know. Maybe. At the time, the movie fell apart. Warner Brothers hired Bryan Singer in 2004, and then we got Superman Returns. So there we go.
Which I guess is kind of spiritual successor, isn't it?
Yeah, in a sense. I mean, it took a lot more cues from the old Superman movies. I mean, this really, really shook the mythos up.
Yeah.
Like this would have been more divisive than Man of Steel, I think, by far.
Yeah, there's loads of weird shit happening in this film.
I don't know how they would have justified a lot of the stuff
and Krypton
when being still around.
around.
And being a religious-based society instead of a science-based society. There's still flickers of awesomeness. It captures Superman's character the same. I like the idea of Jor-El selecting the Kents rather than it just being a random happening. I kind of think that's cool. Gives them a destiny, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of destiny going on.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how Jor-El knows about two random humans on a distant
Through his
planet.
telescope, mate. Through his big Kryptonian telescope. He's like, they look alright.
They look alright.
Wholesome farming family.
Or just through the window is my...
I'm going to send my son there.
Planet-based peeping Tom.
You're never going to get caught, are you?
No, I suppose not. No one's looking at the stars and going, stop looking
Oi!
at my dick.
True. So yeah, would you have been happy? Would you watch that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, obviously I would have watched it regardless,
Yeah. But knowing what you know now,
Yeah.
If
Well,
it came out tomorrow, would you go see it?
yeah, probably, because...
Yeah.
Like
Just to
I say,
see
a lot
what
of
the
random
hell.
shit is
What
just
the
happening.
hell?
I mean, there's a lot of... I'd probably be pissed off at the end of it, based off all the plot points of convenience that just seem to spring up out of nowhere.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah,
But I do like the kind of ideas of mixing it up, and
yeah, doing something a bit different.
yeah, there all this religious war, and like I say, it's got a lot of dark beheadings and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
weird.
quite dark,
It would have been a PG-13 beheading, though, wouldn't it?
I guess off screen.
It
Yeah.
would have been. You see the sword connect and then cut to Jor-El's face going, "Ah,
Yeah.
my wife."
My wife.
So it would have been Anthony Hopkins reacting to it. So
He's not a big reactor, is he?
no. Well, I mean, he's a great actor, but
Yeah.
who knows what he would have done. But quite a departure, quite a different film,
Yeah.
and part of a planned trilogy.
Cool. So,
There we
yeah, we happy?
We're happy. We're done. As always.
If you've been affected by any of the issues raised in the Pip'n'Dale show,
That. Yeah.
if your
Email in.
significant other has been beheaded while you were being held captive on a foreign planet, then let us know.
Having been usurped.
Yeah,
Of
if you've
your
been
ruling.
usurped by your uncle, then we'd love to hear from
If
you.
you've been jettisoned from your home planet and brought up by a kindly couple from Kansas, then right in.
If you became a Kryptonian sleeper agent,
lost all your hair,
Lost all
having
your
been
hair.
fired from your job as a school teacher for sharing radical political views.
then we really want to hear
We
from
really
you,
wanna
'cause
hear
your
from
life
you,
sounds
because-
really interesting.
Yeah, you said we-
How did that happen? Tell us more information.
All right, there we go. That's episode 4 plus 3.
7. 7. Episode 7.
All right.
Okay, I've been down.
And I've been Pitt.
You've
As
been
always,
listening to the
send
Pip'n'Dale
money.
Show.
Send money.
Send money.